welcome back to Dynasty Football Maniacs. All right, I hope you guys all got a hold of that little special we threw out there about college. Just a little outtake. I looked at the college playoff bracket that came out by ESPN's prediction from this last rankings. Some of my teams made it, and some of them didn't. They do have Miami on there. I guess you could see it, but whatever. We'll see at the end of the day. I guess it's whoever scores.
If they
Whoever
get
does.
if they have one more loss in the year, they'll be out.
Well, that's true. If they win out, I mean, they're probably going to stay right where they're at. But if they lose one, they're gonna. I think they're going to lose in their conference champion. I think they're going to end up outranking Clemson, and they're going to go against SMU, and SMU is going to beat them. But until that happens, that's how that whole plays out.
I keep forgetting SMU's in the ACC.
And they're undefeated in the conference.
Yeah,
So
well, that just makes it even more surprising.
I don't know. I mean, they were thinking it was going to be like an embarrassment, but it wasn't.
Didn't look like one to me.
No, it did. All right. So we just got done with week 11. Oh my God. Here we go. To get that brought up. I just don't want to even look at week 11. Don't look like had it. And then there it goes. Okay. So on my pick'ems, I didn't do too hot. Well, I mean, I was 9-5. That ain't too bad. Uh, a lot of it's the point spread got me. I picked the Eagles to win. Oh no, I did not pick the Eagles to win. I actually picked the Commanders. Okay.
I picked the Eagles to win.
Yeah. And I picked the Bears to win and they lost. How about that? Um, I
Well,
did
see,
get
I picked the Packers, and I got that right. It was just a spread. I didn't the points. I didn't get that.
gotcha. So I got Detroit right, Miami right, New Orleans right, Los Angeles Rams, Indianapolis, Minnesota, Seattle, Buffalo. Yes, the Chiefs have finally fallen. Ain't that a beautiful day in the neighborhood? Uh,
It just took Josh Allen.
yeah, well, don't do that yawning again. You're going to make me fall down on my computer. At the top of my head, it was all cut off. I don't know why. Uh, Houston, they dominated the other side of Texas, but then the other side of Texas didn't have anything to give. So I don't know if you could call that a domination or not. I mean, it was all their backups and their reserves playing. I mean, I don't know what to say about that game in general. I'm just going to leave it alone. Yeah, so I didn't make the spread on. No, I picked the Bengals, and the Bengals walked straight up. Uh, Picked Atlanta, but I guess they didn't make the spread, or no, they lost. They got beat. Wow, Denver beat them, smacked them around, 38 to
Hmm.
6.
Yeah, yeah, they
Take a
did.
take a look at this here. All right, Bo Nix just hammering it down. 28 33, 307 yards and 4 touchdowns, living it up. And the guy that I always give a hard time to, Williams, running back. Okay, he did all right. 9 carries, 59 yards, a touchdown. It's decent points. And then Sutton, and he's doing Sutton's thing. So I mean, yeah, typical, typical Denver. I mean, it actually showed up a little bit. I don't know what to think of the Bears. I mean, if you watch Caleb Williams, that's a struggling guy right there.
Well, I mean, their offensive line is still terrible, so until you get that fixed, he's gonna be struggling.
All right, so that's going to lead us into Week 12, which, by God, you better get ready to try to find some spare players from somewhere because just not on top of injuries, you're going to have a bunch of teams out for bye. So just that week alone, you got the Falcons, the Bills, Bengals, Saints, Jets, Jaguars, all out on a bye. That's 6 teams on a bye. And then if you're loaded with injuries, and a lot of these guys are backup, well, there's going to be a lot of teams playing with zero or just playing with a bench warmer that can only score 1 point if you're lucky. So it's going to be an ugly week for a lot of teams, and especially a dynasty that's very deep, or and then some might be actually good because they ain't competing against nobody. So they
Yeah.
could have a good turnaround this week. Let's start off with the Thursday game. We got the Steelers against the Browns, and I still think the Browns are a hot mess. So
Yep, I agree. I'm definitely going with Pittsburgh on this one.
I am too. And I guess I jumped all the way to week 13 on my app. I was like, what happened here? Looking at a different game. Let me go back. Ooh, glad I got that back. Yes, I'm going to go with Pittsburgh. Yeah, so it'll take a minute to get that up. But yeah, injuries galore. So Russell Wilson, he'll be leading the charge, I believe, this week.
Yep.
And looking at your fantasy, Pickens projected pretty high as a wide receiver. I'd kind of keep my eye out for Williams. Waiting for him to start hitting. So you're playing him. It's a perfect week to put him in there as a flex player. Should pretty much do well. And in the back, it's any given day. I mean, it could be Warren, it could be Harris. So it's whoever you're playing, it's whoever you're rolling with. On the other side of it, Chubbs, is he officially back? Yeah, but he didn't look too hot.
Yeah, it's gonna be a while before he even
Yeah, it gets a
becomes
roll.
relevant.
Yeah, he's not really up to par yet.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I don't know what to think of the Browns. Uh, do the best you can with them. I mean, that's really the only players playing this week. So
I would actually play Cedric Tillman in this game if you needed a guy to put in your lineup because of all the waivers. I would do Cedric Tillman, and if you really needed to, you could possibly throw in Jerry Judy as an emergency break glass in a flex spot.
yeah, because he has a high potential of shooting out. Last week he almost scored 30 points
Right, and
PPR.
right now, them two are probably going to be in some deeper league starting lineups, like even a 12-man team, a
Yeah,
12-team league, because we like you read off. There's a bunch of bye weeks this week, so wouldn't surprise me if we see some. Because I actually am going to have to start Cedric Tillman in one of the dynasty leagues because of Jamar Chase being on bye and a lot more other wide receivers being on bye.
I won't tell you what it surprised me. I mean, yeah, he's doing good, but he ain't climbed up to the top yet.
It was a kind of a decent. It was an okay game. It ain't gonna get you nowhere kind of game last week.
Well,
Then
that's what I'm.
again, he was also playing Baltimore, so that's a rough matchup for anybody that he
Yeah, so
could.
he didn't have a great week. I mean, Russell Wilson. I mean, they're winning games still and losing a few. I mean, I'm still on the fence if that's the right quarterback for the team. I mean, Justin Fields wasn't doing that bad when he was there. They weren't losing. I mean, so it's like it's whatever. I mean, Pittsburgh knows what they're doing. At the end of the day, they'll decide how they're going to handle the whole situation. Um, both of them are troopers. They're doing what they're supposed to do. They're not complaining about it, arguing. But yeah, I think Justin Fields and Russell Wilson. More Justin Fields was put in a bad situation. Russell Wilson joined the situation. He went there anyways, and then they traded for Justin Fields, and he didn't really have a choice in it. I mean, so it is what it is. I mean, he's still a young guy. I think he still has another high potential chance of going somewhere else and being successful. I just don't know if it's going to be with Pittsburgh. And we can't say that's not true because we've seen quarterbacks that struggled, come out, went back to another team, and did pretty well. I mean, Baker
Well,
Mayfield's up there, and he was just equivalent to Baker Mayfield in college. So,
it is what it is. We'll just leave it as that.
yes, we will. Uh, so looking at that, we're definitely going to go with Pittsburgh on that. Pick them. Fantasy side, yes, I agree with you. I would try to like a deep league. Cedric Tillman would be a good pick. Um, Jerry Judy's a great flex. I know he was nursing a knee injury. Just two wide receivers right there. And I'm saying Williams is starting to get his groove a little bit. And if he's healthy and he's good, I think that's going to look good. If Russell Wilson can connect, that's the thing. I mean, it's the whole key of the whole thing. Do they connect? And then with a,
Oh, he can connect with him.
I know he can. So, and that's the difference between Wilson and Fields. Wilson is a long ball thrower versus Fields is more run and short pass and occasionally long pass. So going back to the pick'ems, the next great game we got and I can't really deny this fact. Even though I enjoyed watching them lose to the Bills, I can't turn around and say they're going to lose to Carolina. I can't. I'm sorry. That would be injustice to you guys to hear me say that Carolina's going to win this game, and I'm going to tell you to pick them. I can't do that to you guys. I mean, I get some wrong, but this one right here, I'm not getting wrong. So I will definitely take the point spreads and everything with Kansas City over Carolina. Um,
Well, now since you said that, there's going to be an upset of the year.
that's what I'm thinking. And then if it happens, I'll be the happiest guy in the world. They'll be singing songs about me.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
maybe.
yeah. Taylor Swift over there crying. I'm sorry.
She'll cry, but she'll also make a song about you about how you ruined everything.
How he predicted on his show that they wouldn't fall to the Carolina Panthers, and the Carolina Panthers ripped him a new one.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
she gonna.
everybody showed up, and Bryce Young became this magical quarterback overnight. Um, and he was a magical quarterback in college. Don't discredit the kid. He was. Uh,
Well, I
so
mean, when you're in a bad situation, you're gonna be a bad situation.
I think he wouldn't have been that great anywhere. That's just my opinion. I don't
I
think he's an NFL quarterback.
I think with the right coaching staff, yes, but I mean, you ain't gonna. We're never gonna know due to the fact of the Carolina Panthers are a hot piece of garbage.
And I could say that now, and then he could turn out like Sam Arnold in about 3 years, finally find that spot and
Yeah,
mature.
but yeah, because he left the same place that Bryce Young's at.
We don't have to mention them facts. We could just say how it all played out. Baker Mayfield was there for a little bit. It's all
And
maybe
look,
it's
and look what he's doing now.
okay. Okay, you proved a point. It's a horrible situation for the kid.
I am just speaking what I have been seeing.
Yeah. Boy, these new earplugs and this new setup, it's a little different to me. And then the computer, the way I got it set up versus what I had before, it's like, my head's spinning. But I'll get used to it because I wanted a new scene, a new setup, kind of like fixing things a little bit better. But oh well. All right, before I lose my phone connection again, let's go on to the next great game. Next great game, hmm,
This will be a good game.
Vikings against the Bears. I
This will
think
be a good game.
I think it will be, and I'm gonna go with the Vikings.
I am too. I'm gonna go with the Vikings, even though Sam Darnold has the flame kind of died down a little bit since his hot start, but I still think they get it done. And obviously, you're really gonna start majority of your Vikings.
Yeah,
Um, I mean, you're gonna start Aaron Jones. You're gonna start Justin Jefferson. You're you're gonna start Jordan Addison in a flex spot. If you need a flex spot, you're gonna add him.
yeah,
Uh, you're gonna you're gonna start. Well, I would, but I would still start T.J. Hawkinson, even though he's still coming back from that injury. I get it, but he's still getting on the field a lot more. His percentage of snaps is going up week by week, so I expect him to have more snap percentage this week, and let's just see him more involved. The Bears, that one's. I mean, You're gonna start DeAndre Swift.
yeah. He's gonna be a running back one this week. I mean, guaranteed.
Wow.
Not overall running back one, but like on most teams.
Oh, oh, okay. Well, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Okay, that definitely makes more sense. I was like,
Let
whoa,
me
wait a
let me
minute.
clarify that.
Okay,
Most
okay,
people
so
that have Dijon has Swift this week, they'll be playing him as a
okay,
run.
okay, that makes sense because I mean, I'm not saying that it's not possible because there's been two games this week or this year where he's finished as the RB2 and RB3.
Yeah.
So it's not possible, but against the Vikings, it's a little big of a stretch. But I definitely start him. And honestly, the wide receivers here kind of scare me. But I mean, you're gonna start DJ Moore, even though it's. But I say that, and that's if you have him as your guy. But honestly, if I had a different option, I would definitely go with somebody else over DJ Moore. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah. Who is Minnesota's kicker right now? I know Reichardt, he's been out for a while now on IR. I forget
It
who it is
is John. It is John Parker Romo.
from Romo. And then
hmm
Addison's questionable. Oliver's
I
questionable.
I
Uh,
think I think most of the questionables are just like their Wednesday routine of they're gonna take it easy that day or whatever because of the soreness of the year or whatnot. Because I've noticed that a lot. I've noticed that a lot on most early reports.
right. So I'm looking on the fantasy side. Yeah, the wide receivers, it's a give or take on Keenan Allen or Rome Tuesday. I mean, it just depends on what day he's connecting with who. And then his highest wide receiver has been DJ Moore, so he's always your guaranteed. But he has also thrown to some of the others like Carter and stuff like you don't expect. Um, and that's just because Caleb is young, inexperienced, and it's like he's reading whatever he can read and throw wherever he can see. And then when he can't see, it's a mess. Justin Jefferson, yeah, that's a start no matter what. Naylor's had a few good games, but Addison, I'd kind of be careful with him right now, even though they don't have him listed questionable. Aaron
I,
Jones is a running back. I mean,
I think Addison will be fine, and you're definitely gonna need him with all these bye weeks that are happening.
yeah, you definitely put him in your flex. It doesn't like if that's who you got, that's who you got. All right, so not to slow up too much because I know I've already delayed a lot just because of my technical difficulties. We're going to kind of breeze through a few of these real quick. Houston and Texas, pretty much cut and dry. Houston, I mean, I don't see nothing really special out at Tennessee that's going to come out and say, oh, we got this one. Um, I'm
Yeah,
not saying.
I'm going with Houston on this one.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Tennessee. I thought you just did that because I said that. You are so wrong, Austin.
If I really feel strongly differently about you, I'm going to let you know.
Oh yeah, you won't hesitate. Uh, so the next one, Tigers. Oh, Tigers. Detroit Lions.
We're
Woo! Detroit Tigers. Detroit Lions.
we're in, we're in
Well,
the
we're
we're
in
in the
base, not
NFL.
base. Now, see, I almost said baseball. We're talking about football. Jesus, click. What are you on today?
we're
um,
we're in the NFL, Ralph.
yeah, we're in the NFL. Not the. All right, not the American League. Uh, Detroit Lions. Um, Definitely. Ooh, that's gonna be a good game. Anthony Richardson didn't look too bad coming back. I mean, he scored up there pretty high last week. Looked
Yeah,
pretty
he
good.
he did, but I have to see it consistently in
That
order for
that's the
me to
thing with
buy
him
in.
is like, are we gonna see it consistently? See, I'm so happy to see him back because I have him in a league that I'm like struggling to
I
stay
mean, I
in the
do too.
playoffs.
I have him as well, but I am not going to start him until I actually see he can. And yes, he can go out there and he can lose to the Lions. But what I want to see in the fantasy world is can he score those big numbers that we're all expecting him to? Can he do it again after this past week? He can lose to the Lions all he wants to, but in that loss, they're going to be, trying to, obviously score and win anyway. So that just helps us out. I just want to see it again. And when I see it again, then that's when I'm going to be like, okay, well, now you pique my interest. Now I really have to sit here and be like, should I start this guy or should I start Anthony Richardson?
I completely
Give
understand it.
give me that issue to have.
Yeah,
Is basically what I'm saying.
but with me on my situation, it's a quarterback flex.
Mm.
So the only two quarterbacks I really had was Baker Mayfield and him and Minshew. Minshew ain't been doing much. sometimes nothing. So during them weeks, there was a couple weeks that I ended up not even playing a quarterback and ended up throwing a wide receiver in there. Now I have a chance to, instead of my main quarterback now is Baker Mayfield, hands down. It's a redraft league. It's not a dynasty, and
Yeah.
I want Anthony Richardson in there as that quarterback flex because he's going to give me more of an upside than a wide receiver or a running back, unless it's Christian McCaffrey or some good God great Barkley or somebody. But
Oh,
I don't have them greats. So
well, Christian McCaffrey is still
he's
slowly getting
yeah.
integrated into it.
When I said that, it's a metaphor about the man.
Oh, okay.
He is the man, and no matter how we do it and how we talked about it, at the end of the day, he is one of the few that can outscore everybody by 100 points in fantasy. So in a entire season, it's crazy. So I mean, I look at stats, I hardly ever see that, and no one ever really talks about how really impactful he is when it comes to that. But right now, he's not impactful at all. So just a good thing for teams that don't have him. Um,
Well,
I'm
yeah.
not I'm not complaining. Thank God you drafted me in one league.
Yeah, well, we didn't expect him to have all this issues, so
Well, I kind of sensed it. I just didn't want to tell you when you drafted it.
you are such a liar.
I know I was because I was so mad you drafted him. It's like, why? You told me you
I
weren't going to get him.
I remember it vaguely, so
I don't. I have it written down in my calendar and a note to myself for next year. Um, yes, I'm watching you. Uh, so New England against Miami. Mm, Miami. Uh, New England's an up and down roller coaster. They're good. They're not bad, but they're not great and they're not bad. So I'm gonna go with Miami.
right. Jake May is really growing on me though. I'm
He's
not
growing on you,
I'm,
but he's falling off my
I'm
shoulders
not
on
gonna
me.
lie. Well, I mean he finished the quarterback 13 last week against the Rams. And then he
And that
finished
is pretty
and
good.
then in Chicago, he finished as the quarterback 16 and then quarterback 18.
All right.
So, you know what? I am going to do it. I am going to ride with the Patriots.
You should get a Bo Nix. Um
Hey, I would love a Bo Nix.
I would too.
I mean, that kid, like
Yeah,
he is balling right now.
he's balling, and I almost gave up on him, just like I almost gave up on C. I did give up on C.J. Stroud when he first come out. I was a horrible
You,
fan.
you gave up way too fast.
Yeah, it's like the second week, I was like, oh, this guy's going to be so much better than this guy, and I'm going to throw him over here, and I'm going to be great, and I'm going to get this first round pick, and there goes C.J. Stroud off for the races. I was like, oh my God, did I make a bad choice? Uh, so let's go to the next game. Talking about the great Baker, Tampa Bay versus New York Giants. I am going with Tampa Bay. I think they need a win. I do believe they can handle the Giants. The Giants is a roller coaster of itself. I mean, one minute they're there, one minute they're not. They do put on a good game a lot of times. I mean, I've seen them play pretty good, and then something just disastrously happens. But fantasy
Yeah,
wise, uh, defensive players is mainly what I'm looking at, and Malik Neighbors. That's all I would grab from that team, and Malik Neighbors as the number one guy. Uh, on the other hand of it, um, Bucky Irvin, he's coming along. He's not explosive yet. They are they are still suffering with IR injuries on Tampa side. You got Godwin still out.
right now it's still Rashad White, especially after that game he had against the 49ers.
Yeah, but right now it is Rashad White, but this is the most I've seen Tampa let another running back get a little piece. So I think,
Besides Leonard Fournette.
yeah, well, that was before. I mean,
Well,
Leonard
I mean,
Fournette had it before
Rashad
Rashad White.
Rashad White was behind Leonard Fournette a couple of
Net,
years ago.
yes, and then they didn't really give him a shot until Leonard Fournette was gone, and then
No, 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 no. He practically took it over because
uh,
Mister Dump Truck fell off. His wheels fell off.
yeah. But they got a couple questionable players on the Buccaneers, like Braswell. He's questionable, defensive guy. Then they got a lot on IR. Still Godwin's still on
I
IR.
so you might not do it, but I would definitely play Tyrone Tracy for the
Yeah.
Giants.
Oh yeah, Tyrone Tracy. I do have him on a team, and he's been a flex spot for me. And he's not doing too bad. I mean, he's not scoring like ridiculous, but sometimes he does, and then sometimes he just might average 10, 13, 14
Well,
points.
so since he took over, he finished as the RB 18, the RB 5, the RB 39, which is it ain't the lowest of his career for this year. But then he finished RB 7, RB 35, and then he finished his last game was against the Panthers, and he finished RB 13. I think he can get it. He can be in the top 25 this week.
And Baker's starting to struggle just slightly. Let me get on the stats here. Hold on a minute.
Well, I mean, have you seen he's been in the gauntlet.
Well,
He
he's in a
play
gauntlet because he doesn't have any wide receivers. Matt
well
Evans is going to be out again.
even with the wide receivers. I mean, he played the 49ers. Then he
Oh,
played. Then
yeah,
he played.
yeah,
Then he played Kansas City, and
yeah,
then he had Baltimore, and then he had New Orleans defense, and then he had Atlanta's defense. Which Atlanta's defense has improved a
yeah.
lot this year.
This
So
last 4 weeks is well, actually, good God, his whole season's been a gauntlet.
yeah,
Washington,
because
Detroit, Denver, Philadelphia, Atlanta, New Orleans, Baltimore, Atlanta, Kansas City, San Francisco.
the
Then a bye
best
week. Now
the
he's got
best
his easiest two games.
well, I would consider the Raiders too, because let's just
Oh
be
yeah,
real.
yeah, yeah. Raiders will be another walk in the park. And Dallas this year might be easy on them because they don't have anybody there playing right now. So if he gets to Dallas, he might
So
actually do well.
honestly, if you have this is the best time to have them, especially for your fantasy playoffs. With this stretch
Yeah.
of schedule, this is like the best time to have Baker.
So this is the special part of the show because we can actually do some special things other than always name these common wide receivers because they don't have the common wide receivers there. Uh, Mike Evans is out. Uh, Godwin's out. So the people you need to look at is Sterling Shepard. Another one that's been doing good is Jalen McMillan. Um, and then they're really big focused on is their Cad Alton, the tight end. He kind of gets some hits and bangs. And I think that's why Berkey Irvin's coming in a little bit because he's doing some of that.
Right, but I would keep an eye on Mike Evans though, because there's a report that he was at practice Monday practicing. So
Oh, yeah. But it says that he's
I'm
out, but he could
yeah,
come back. Yes.
it says he's out, but this report that I am reading said he has been seen at practice on Monday. So it takes them a while. It takes them a little bit to update these things, even on Sleeper, because for the most part, we didn't even know about that one night when Christian McCaffrey all the way up into an hour or even less than an hour of that game.
Yeah.
So
So you're
he,
right. Go ahead.
but no, I would definitely keep an eye out on the news and stuff for Mike Evans this week as
Yeah.
we roll along.
Yeah, so keep him on the back burner. Don't cut him out yet. But even with him just playing, I would still look at Jalen McMillan and Sterling Shepard. They've been kind of like sharing with whoever comes back because Godwin, he's definitely out. The they did that is a factual statement. He was at practice Monday. It looks like he's worthy for monitoring for practice, is what the last analysis came out saying throughout the week. So if he continues to practice, there's a good chance he is dealing with a hamstring. Hamstrings can be tricky. 1 minute they're good, 1 minute they're bad. It just takes a second for it to go whichever way. Um, yeah, so that's exciting right there. So if you got someone like that or don't have one of them guys and they're still out there on the bench, like out there in the waiver wire, and you can still pick up a waiver wire, get them. I know most leagues trades are done, so you're not getting no trades anymore. I mean, this should be the last week for most leagues. If any
Right.
leagues are still trading. Um,
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next game. Washington Commanders against the Great Dallas. I will have to go with Washington Commanders, and it's not that if it was Dak playing, I'd be with Dallas.
Even with Dak playing, I wouldn't go with them. I'm going with Washington.
Okay, and we're going to skip over that one and run into Denver and Las Vegas because we got to get a little caught up, got a little bit behind, got sidetracked.
I'm
Denver against Las Vegas.
I'm going with Bo.
Going with Bo. I love it. Bo is the man. And on that game, yeah, there's some good top players. And then we got San Francisco against Green Bay. That's a tough one. I don't know how to pick that one. I want to say Green Bay, but I just have a feeling San Francisco's ready.
I'm going Green Bay. The 49ers are they'll get healthy, but then they'll get hurt. They'll get healthy, but then they'll get hurt. It can't be consistent on any way, so I'm going with Green Bay on this one.
All right. So you're going to go with that. So with that being said, for the Arizona Cardinals in Seattle, I'm going to go with Arizona.
I am also going with Arizona.
Oh wow, we're too much on the same page right now. I'm letting you pick the next game because I don't really know what to do on this one.
Uh,
Eagles over the Rams.
I'm going Eagles.
All right, I'm gonna take your advice because you just seem like an expert this time. Uh, uh,
I don't know about that.
well, let's talk about the great team with the King Henry and the great
This is gonna
Lamar.
this is gonna be an interesting game because watching
The
that
hard balls against the hard
watch
balls. I love two hard
watching
balls.
watching I'm not even gonna get into that. Watching the Chargers Sunday night playing, that offense just looks like it's just
Clicking.
clicking.
Yes,
Like
it's
just
different.
Justin Herbert was just slinging it everywhere. The wide receivers was actually catching the ball and doing stuff with it. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Yeah.
So, but with that being said,
Now Baltimore's favored in this by
they
three
are
and a half.
They are, but you know what? I think I think the other Harbaugh is going to get it done. So I'm actually going to go with the Chargers.
Oh, you're going with the left side, not the right side. Wow. Uh, if
Look,
you ever
I'm
listen to the two talk, one is left and the other one is right. I'm just saying.
well. I
One's a little
mean,
bit deeper than the other.
like I get it. I get it. The Ravens are, this, dominating force, but they have cracks in their armor. I mean, we've seen it. We've seen it for the past 2 weeks, actually, or more. Because in the Bengals game, you saw where you can throw on them and you can score on them a lot. And then the Steelers game, when they were in the nitty gritty, they just got outsmarted by Mike Tomlin because it's Mike Tomlin. I mean, it's very rare somebody else outsmarts him, but
Yeah, he's a very good coach.
so I'm just gonna go wild on this one. That's just why I want Chargers. I'm just gonna go wild. I'm gonna go on the wild side.
Yeah. So, like, get to our ranking side that we always talk about every week. I mean, I always like to bring it up. I didn't get it all done like I usually get it done up to 200. I have it all laid out. I could get it real quick, but I mean, I got the top 50. I'm looking at Lamar Jackson still holding the top spot. Right behind him, Jamar Chase is finally there. So you have always said that you believe there would be the year if he stayed healthy, he would be outdoing Justin Jefferson. And here is the year. And it's nothing against Jefferson. And Jefferson's been pretty healthy this year too, but Justin Jefferson is 19. And I mean, Jamar Chase is finally blowing the doors off. Even when Burrow is limping, he is hopping.
The Vikings don't have Joe Burrow.
That's true too. If they had
Now
Joe, if they
we
had,
would we would have a different conversation if Kirk Cousins was still with Minnesota.
I think the same thing. I think it would be a different conversation. So then the next one in rank is Joe Burrow, right behind his wide receiver. And then Jalen
Mm-hmm.
Hurts has moved up. And you got to understand Jalen Hurts
He
is
has
kind of
got.
like it's a lot of run and plus it's passing, kind of like Lamar, but Lamar has more runs and more passing.
They just
It's
get Saquon gets them down the field, and Jalen Hurts just pushes his way in.
so the funny thing is the next quarterback I name is Josh Allen. But if you take a look at the top five, you got one wide receiver in there and four quarterbacks. And the difference between Joe Burrow and the other three quarterbacks is passing yards. He's over 3,000. They're not. But then again, he doesn't rush and doesn't run the ball like they do. And he throws a lot more touchdowns. So, I mean, touchdowns for Joe Burrow's 27. The only one that comes close to him is Lamar Jackson with 25. The other two are only at 18 and 12. But then the other two got rushing touchdowns. Like Jalen Hurts has 11 rushing touchdowns. Okay, guys. So that's kind of like what equivalates. And then plus he's rushing 103 attempts, 417 yards. He's rushed more than Lamar, but Lamar's only rushed 95 yards and had 584 attempted 95 rushes and had 584 yards, but only two touchdowns. So it's kind of like a balance there with him. But Josh Allen's also kind of like a rusher. He rushed 67 times with 316 yards and five touchdowns.
Look,
Joe
he
Burrow has one touchdown on rushing.
look. Josh Allen is our hero. Is all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. And he did attempt 31 times and had 151. But you know what's funny? Everybody in the top five has rushed the football this year. Even Jamar Chase had an attempt at rushing. He ran 11 yards
Yep,
one time.
absolutely.
One time. Uh, and then after that, you got the next guy, the running back, the beast of all right now that I did not see this coming because honestly, I was so surprised he went to Baltimore for one. And I kind of seen it, but I really wanted him to go to Dallas. Don't know why. I had that even in my head. Because Dallas would never get that shit done anyways. No offense to any Dallas fans. It's more Jerry Jones. Uh, he went there to Baltimore and he is like this is the first time I have ever seen Baltimore Ravens not have a roped up, beaten up running back crew. It's like this guy is so healthy. Once they figured out how to use him and utilize him, it's crazy. I mean, it's just crazy for his age. He's done
So,
more there than what he did at Tennessee. I mean, it's crazy.
so I just want you to know that all we had to do in order to acquire Derrick Henry was just give him 6 million.
That's crazy.
I'm
What is
just,
wrong?
I am just saying.
Yeah, as a Dallas fan, I would be standing out at someone's mansion right now, ready to just lynch them. Oh,
Hey! Don't you ruin our plans now.
oh, I'm sorry.
I don't know where you heard that from, but you better keep that to yourself.
Mm,
If you let everyone know now, then our plan will be ruined.
they'll already be out there protecting them.
Exactly.
All right. So the next great guy, and I hyped up on him last year, and I hyped on him this year, and everybody thought I was crazy last year, but then he proved himself, and then this year he did even better. Uh, Baker Mayfield, rounding out seven. Then right after him is another great running back that is done better than he did at the Giants. Is well, no, he did place one time running back three at the Giants, but he stayed injured a lot because the Giants didn't have anything but him, and that was Barkley. Now he's staying healthy because he's got all kinds of tools around him. He doesn't have to do it. Um, Alvin Kamara is still hanging in the top 10. Not once has he dropped out of the top 10, which is amazing for his age too. I mean, I'm like a healthy guy. And then there's my great rookie. I am so proud of this kid from LSU, Jaden Daniels. You should have been the 101. That's all I gotta say. Let's just knock that off and go on. And then the next guy behind him, the one that everybody doubted, I even doubted. I even threw him away. Then I picked him up, and then I kind of suckered him, and then I kind of kept them all in my benches now. And then I have fantasies about him. Bo Nix. There you go. Uh,
Oh,
Bijan Robinson's
I,
next. Right
that
behind that is number 12.
I think the last part could have been left out.
Yeah, it should be left out, but I'm not.
I
Uh,
know.
uh, Bijan comes in number 12, and then number 13, Brock Purdy. Man, he's been decent for a quarterback. Number 14, Amon St. Brown. And number 15, Brees Hall has been hanging in there. And then Kyle Murray's come up. Not come. Oh, Jesus Christ. He's came up in the rankings. I don't know what he's doing to that offensive line. Uh, um, Jesus. Uh, he's now 16. I'm 16 in age. Get off on that. Let's go to Jared Goff. Jared Goff, he's 17. And you got Jameer Gibbs. That's a runner right there. That baby's all that. And then finally 19 rounding off Justin Jefferson, and then an old man at 20, Joe Mixon, Houston. He's dominating. Whew, I got rid of that one. Whew. And then two quarterbacks, 21 and 22.
Oh my god.
So let's just talk about this disaster at Dallas. Even though we've had this disaster at Dallas, we got CD Lamb still holding in there at 23. What a wide receiver. He gets depressed, but he's doing what he's got. You get that breath back. We're gonna be good.
I hope CD ain't coming up.
No, he ain't coming up on me. I mean, Devon the Chain's next. Uh, yeah. So there's some wow. But on another subject, we're looking down at number 50. You have 53 is tied. Well, let's see. 50 is Dijon Swift. So your top defensive players that are currently ranked. Oh, there's one up here. Zach Bond. Yeah, Zach Bond has now took the lead again. So he is ranked 28. He's moved up into the top 30 for Philadelphia. This guy came out of nowhere. He was at the Saints, not as a starter, as a backup. He's come to Philadelphia and he is rocking. Another one that's been hitting surprising. He ain't ranked in the top 50 yet, but Brandon Frisk. The last couple games, he is finally clicking as a rookie for the Rams. I mean, he is really. Last week, he scored 26 points at PPR for defense, so that's pretty impressive. Uh, so he'd be one to look out for. Raquan Smith finally crawled up into the top 50. He's at 43 right now. We got some other defensive players in between there. I'm looking for them. Well, that guy ain't defense. That's offensive player. Oh, Andrew Van Ginkle for Minnesota is ranked 40. Raquan Smith is 43. And then another surprise this year is Daryl Mooney. I am so proud of this guy. I mean, he suffered at the Bears for so many years. And I always had like high chance, like I always thought he had a high chance because one year he had that one good year. And then after that, it's just like, but then he had Justin Fields. Not nothing against Justin Fields.
I just hope that hammy turns out okay.
Yeah, I do too, because he's doing really well. He's ranked 47. And then right behind him, like in defensive wide, you got Robert Spillman still up there in the top 50. He's ranked 49. And then after that, you got 53 with Xavier. You got like defensive galore. It's 53 is tied with Fred Warner and Zaire Franklin, which both of them are ranked second for their position. Um, or no, they're tier one's ranked 5 and one's ranked 8. I'm sorry, got that wrong. And then because they're in the same position. It's like, what? They're both linebackers. They both do. Just tier 2. I'm sorry, guys. But the other guy right behind them at 54 is Jermaine Pratt for Cincinnati. He has definitely picked up his game, so he's someone to look out for. Got to give the love to the IDP players. So we're not going to cover a whole lot on college today, other than do our pick 'em. I know we gave you guys a college special. Definitely did good in my ESPN league last week. I won 124-38 to 48. Definitely dominated, but I'm only 4-7, which really is not good.
Hey, me too.
All right, so we're going to the wrecking crew. So my entries. So week 12. Oh, did pretty decent week 12. I got Tulane correct. I got Illinois correct. I did not get the LSU game right correct or the Oregon State Beavers correct. They both lost. Air Force easily handled Oregon State Beavers 28-0. And LSU got clobbered by Florida Gators.
Yeah, no, I did not see that coming.
Yeah. I did pick the Baylor Bears correct over Mountain West, and I did pick James Madison correct. I got Arkansas State Red Wolves correct, and Rutgers was beat Maryland. Another one that I got disappointed by because I picked Tennessee. Georgia Bulldogs pulled that victory off, and I also got the Kansas City Jayhawks against BYU Cougars. Wrong. All right. So let's go into our next entry for week 13. Let's see what we can do. So it has to start off with this game. Oh my God. So I am going to let Austin pick the winner for the Indiana and Ohio State game. Who do you think is going to dominate?
Well, I don't think it's going to be a dominant game, but I do believe that Ohio State will pull it out at the very end.
All right, we're on the same page. Sam Houston against Jacksonville State Gamecocks. Ooh, both a good powerhouse. One's 7-3, one's 8-2. They're both really good. I do like Jacksonville State's offense. I'm sorry, it's a good offense. And Sam Houston, don't get me wrong, they're good too. But I am actually going to lead more to the home area here, and I'm a big Jacksonville State Gamecock fan, so I am going to pick them Gamecocks.
I am actually going to go with Sam Houston on this one.
Okay. All right, Western Kentucky Hilltoppers against the Liberty Flames. This is the team that you projected that could be in the 12-team playoff in April, but no way now. But they're actually not a bad record, 7-2. They only had them 2 losses. Western Kentucky looks pretty good, but I'll probably have to lean more towards the Liberty Flames. I mean, I did watch one of their games this year, and it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I'm going with Liberty.
All right, so this is going to be a tough matchup coming up this weekend. BYU Cougars against Arizona State Sun Devils. This will be a story to tell because if I believe this is could be a part where it gives Arizona State Sun Devils a chance at making it to the conference champion if they beat BYU, especially after BYU lost to Kansas. But in my prediction, I have BYU beating Arizona State. And I'm going to continue to pick BYU Cougars over Arizona. But it's just that could be a hiccup. Where are you going with it?
I'm going Arizona State.
All right. Now here's another tough one. This is the team that upset BYU. And if you look at the strength between offense, defense, and overall, BYU had a higher strength than Colorado. Um, Colorado, they've done well. And I honestly think they'll be able to pull their game together. I don't think they're going to lose to Kansas. They've done already got too many losses. If they lose to Kansas, it would ruin their chances, and it would also give Arizona State, with even them losing to BYU, a chance at the conference title, which this I think would eliminate BYU Colorado. So I'm actually going to pick Colorado because I predict they will be in the conference champion Big 12.
Yeah, I got Colorado as well.
And I know Kansas plays a good game every time when they play against people like this. It's always like, who you just don't know which way it's going to go. And sometimes Kansas looks like they're going to pull it off. Uh, here's a good mess up. Texas A&M against Auburn Tigers. I'm sorry, Tigers. I love you guys. I got a lot of friends that are fans of Auburn, and I'm not going to be picking for Auburn. I'm sorry. I'm going ATM. No, yeah, I need to go to the ATM, get some cash, got to throw some dollar bills around, people were coming all over the top end there, uh,
Mm.
uh,
I'm going Texas A&M.
Texas A&M. All right. Another good game. Iowa State Cyclones against Utah Utes. Utes put up a battle with a lot of people. They've struggled this year. A lot of it's due to injuries. A lot of people don't realize that. It's not that they just fell off the radar. That team has struggled all year with injuries. They struggled last year with injuries. Look how often Dalton Kincaid and all them were injured. I mean, it's just brutal. So, but at the end of the day, I'm going with Iowa State Cyclones.
Yeah, I'm going with Iowa State.
Marshall against Old Dominion. Ooh, Marshall.
Yeah, I'm going Marshall.
All right, here's a fun West Coast game for everybody to sit back and watch late night. Ain't got nothing better to do. Flip on that ball game. It's probably going to be played at like 10 o'clock our time at night. USC against UCLA Bruins. I am going to go ahead and say USC is going to pull that victory off.
Hang on. You can't combine both schools and pick them both now.
I know. I about did it, didn't I? You heard it coming out. You're like, whoa, how does that work? Over there, they just shake hands. We're all good now. Uh, so,
Okay, I got you.
uh,
I'm going UCLA.
UCLA. Oh, I like it. I like a little spice there. All right. So I got Colorado State Rams against Fresno State Bulldogs. I think the Rams are going to hold their own. I think they're going to be in the conference champion. Not a conference champion. They're going to play for it. Boise State's going to beat them. But I think Colorado State will hold their own against Fresno State this year.
Yeah, I got Colorado State as well.
So the toughest part is picking the points for Ohio State and Indiana. And I'm like, what do I pick? Let's see here.
Well, I already got my answer.
What's your answer?
63.
I'm going 52. All right. So that's pick them. So I'm looking right now at their week 13, 12 game college bracket projections. They got seed 12 as BYU. I have like BYU as seed 3. They got Ohio State as seed 5, which means they lose the conference champion, which means they would have 2 losses, or they lost to Indiana. Because see, if they lose to Indiana, they won't go to the conference championship. Indiana would then go against Oregon, 2 undefeated teams, which then I could see Ohio State getting in at a seed 5. They do have Alabama in there about the same rank I had them. Oh, actually, the same rank. No, no, they don't. I had Alabama in 11. They got Alabama 9, Notre Dame 8, which I had Notre Dame 8. Then they got Georgia in it. Who did they eliminate? Because they got Texas, but they don't have Georgia as a conference champion, so they got Texas A&M going against Texas in the conference champion because they got Texas as the thing. Now that's a possibility. Because see, if Texas, well, the only way
Yep.
the only way that would be a possibility is Texas A&M would have to beat Texas to face off in the conference
Yeah,
champion.
that's the only way, and I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I know. So why would you even project this? Because Georgia is clearly the leader of the SEC behind Texas A&M. They're going to fall
Because
below Georgia.
because the committee just wants us to have another debate every time we look at it.
Yeah, but we know the facts. Let's be straight.
Yeah,
Uh,
but
and I heard a podcast today. Someone sent me a link, and at first I thought it was like a stupid link. And then I listened to the guy, but now I found out the guy was an SEC because the way you read the title, he's like SEC could be left out. I'm like, oh, not a dumb one again. And I'm not saying people are dumb. I'm just saying that's a dumb ideology. They're not going to be left out under any circumstances. And I still believe 4 Big Ten teams and 4 SEC teams are probably going to make the playoffs. Now, here it shows only 1, 2, 3, 4. They got the same 4 Big Ten teams that I picked. They are leaving out Tennessee. Oh my God. How do you leave Tennessee out when they're ranked higher than Ole Miss and Alabama? I'm confused. But
see, I'm
it's
telling you,
a conversation piece, like you said.
I'm telling you,
It's
I'm
it's
telling you.
it's a it's a conversation. Now, why did I leave Miami out? Because I think in the long run, and I could be wrong, because if I am wrong on this, what's going to happen if the rankings stay at the ACC like they have it, and SMU go? But see, they don't even have SMU in here, and they don't have Clemson. So they're saying now that would make sense. Now, if Miami beats SMU, yes, Miami would be in. But I don't think Miami's going to beat SMU. I think SMU is going to be Miami. And that's why I picked SMU. Now, they picked Boise State, but they put Boise State as a higher ranked conference champion than who's the other conference champion that's. Well, no, that don't make no sense. So you got ACC, SEC, Big. They got the Big 12 conference champion as a non-bye week. They have them seeded 12, just barely making it in. An undefeated team that only lost one game as 12 from the Big 12. And outside their conference, they played tough teams. They didn't play like paddywhack, go smack a dog in the rear games. They played decent games. I mean, I don't know if anybody does that, but just saying. I mean, come on, guys. Really? Really? We're going to do that to the Big 12? I mean, come on. I get it. No respect. No respect at all. We did it to Florida State. Why not do it to them? And Florida
Well, I
State like
mean,
fell off the hinges. I mean, literally. I mean, it went from undefeated to one win next season. I mean, it was a sidestep. Uh, yeah, I need to settle down. I think I might need to take some medication. Uh, but no, that's a pretty good projection. I mean, and mine wasn't too far off. So, guys, please go back and watch our last episode we released Saturday. It's a college prediction. We did a recap of a prediction we did in April, and we broke it down and then we released it. Now, the one thing that Austin disagreed with me, and that's a good disagreement because I've had that same argument, is he feels like that Colorado could beat BYU in the conference champion. I think there's that potential. It really depends on how them teams show up. Colorado has two outstanding players. BYU has more of a balance. So if BYU slips up in any way and them two outstanding players and then other players on that team step up, Colorado could overcome BYU in an instant and take the game. Boise State, seeing them ranked as a forward by, I really don't dis. And I honestly, no matter how you do it and how you end it, I don't see the Colorado State Rams beating Boise State in the conference champion. Sorry, that's it's just that's a bold prediction. I know, but going back to that other podcast I listened to, and I got a little bit off fan limits, but then they said that the strongest conference is the SEC, and everybody else is nobody. And if Indiana loses, they'll leave Indiana out completely. And I'm like, Indiana only loses to the number 2 team in the nation. How do you leave them out? And they're only ranked 5. If you do any math and any past history, the farthest they're going to drop them guys is probably 10 or 11, if that. But everybody has opinions. That's what we are. We're opinions. At the end of the day, we don't make the decisions. This committee does, and the playouts do now because the plays matter now. If people ain't paying attention, them matchups matter. Why Georgia is positioned where Georgia is because of the matchups. It's because Alabama lost to Vandy. That's the only reason. Alabama beat Georgia. If Alabama had lost to anybody else other than Vandy, like say they would have lost to a Tennessee, you would have seen a different flip.
wait, they did lose to Tennessee, though.
Huh?
Alabama did lose to Tennessee.
Oh, they did, didn't they?
Yes.
Yeah, they have 2 losses.
Yes.
Vanderbilt. Okay, so let's pick another team outside of the Vanderbilt. Okay, Ole Miss. Okay, there we go. Whew. Had to throw another team in there. I forgot they did lose to both Tennessee teams. Thank you for the reminder. So, but yeah, so that's just how I look at. I love this part of the season. I mean, I am so pumped about the college games right now. I'm still pumped about the NFL. I'm more depressed because I've had some fantasy up and downs this year, but I do have a shot in several leagues to compete. I know one I'm battling for a playoff spot, another one I'm pretty much guaranteed a playoff spot. And in one of my dynasty leagues, I'm battling for a playoff spot. And in the other 2 dynasty leagues, I'm just looking in going, hey, I'm here. So I'm already making arrangements to keep most of my team, but there's some pieces I'm going to add to it. Make some good trades. And we're going to get into that trades soon too. We need to me and Austin are going to put some things together because right now no trading's happening. But what's going to happen at the end of the season, we're going to have to start coming up with some what you need to keep and what you need to let go and what kind of picks you should be going for. Because I'm telling you, 2025 is going to be hot, baby, hot. So you want to get you some picks in there. You don't want to be the guy sitting out with only one pick. I've seen teams do that. They trade all their picks away. They got 2 picks, and then their team ain't nothing next year. So at the end of the day, you need to be getting some of that young stuff on your team, putting them down in your flex spot, getting them ready. I mean, got to do something. If you guys like the
Yep.
content, please hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. And what is it you always say?
Make sure you share because sharing is caring.
Yes, sharing is caring.